Welcome back to Sunshine Forest on Farming Simulator 25. It's episode 19. We've got some cool stuff going on. Big log loads, raising fields, root crops. We've solved some problems, big brain moments. It's all happening with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on Sunshine Forest. I'm going to get rid of this trailer. If you've watched my mod reviews, you'll know why. We are buying something much, much bigger. When I often do videos and I do my thumbnails and I say, you know, go big or go home, we are going big. The new heavy-duty logger is what we're going to be getting. What are we going to... Should I repair it? I'll repair it. I'm not going to repaint it. But what are we going to get for it? What's it worth? Oh, that's all right. Cool. Because I think the heavy-duty logger is only 35 grand. So we've actually got a little bit of money back in the bank. Nice. I'm going to head up. We're going to get it ordered. Once it arrives, we'll grab it and take it over to our logging operation. It hath arrived. And it is... Look at it. It's insane. But this is the sort of trailer you can... It's one load, one trailer load, you can get an entire forest in. One load, one forest. It's, obviously it depends on the size of the forest. It's one of those things, isn't it? How long it's a piece of string. A small forest, let's just say that. Now, I've had a big brain moment. I'm recording this straight off the back of the previous sort of, you know. And I've already done some work. And when I had my big brain moment, I'm not too proud to admit I made a mistake buying the grapple yarder. I thought it was going to work better than it did. It's for what I want to do. I'm not saying the mod's no good. I'm not saying for what I want to do, it's just too fiddly. Having to adjust it and move it, and I'm loading up my trailers far quicker using my telehandler and that grab. So I'm going to show you my big brain stuff. We're going to get on with that, and then I will load the log trailer, I think. So here I am down at Soggy Boggins. Now, I'd already started doing this. I had my big brain moment. You know, sometimes it happens, and you stop and you think, hang on, I wonder, let's give it a try, kind of thing. And that was the case, that because I couldn't plant anything, because I'd ploughed it, and you could see the water in the bottom of some of the furrows of the plough, I thought, hang on a minute, I wonder if I roll it, so I roll it flat, which kind of brings the level up to the peaks of the furrows, not the troughs of the furrows. Can I get away with doing my planting? Which is what I said. Now, a lot of people messaged and said, what about doing long grain rice fields? Now, it's a great idea in theory. However, long grain rice fields, when you place them, will either, if you raise them, they'll build the banks, or lower them, which I could have done. I could have raised them. If I'd have put them in lower, so it drops into what's already here, doing anything like that requires you to be able to flood or drain, or flood and then the crops use the water and then you re-flood until it decides it doesn't need any more. But this water plane is here all the time. And when it came up the other day saying you cannot plant crops in flooded fields or whatever it was saying, which I guess is the new thing because of rice fields and that kind of thing, this remains flooded no matter what. So even if I had put in a rice field, it still would have had this water plane on it. So whether I put water in or not, it would still be showing as flooded. I could have done raised ones, which I guess was what I said the other day. Maybe I can raise this all up. If I raised the level in one corner and then leveled it all a little bit higher, it would have worked. But I thought I'd try rolling, and it worked. And then, you know what happens? I go into my comments. Who was it? Somebody had commented, at least one person, if not a couple, to say, have you thought about cultivating or rolling it? Maybe that'll work. Great minds think alike and all that jazz. So, having done a tiny little test in the corner, and it worked, I thought, right, let's crack right along, shall we? Oh, the other thing I've also done is, let's hop across here, and here, I finished off doing all this, and I used all the 4 boxes that I had. So I did the rows in the last episode, and then I said I was going to fill in the rows in between. There's a few little gaps here and there. I'm trying to find a gap that I missed. There's a few little gaps. That's stuff I used the other one, the other planter. And I have to say again, that used far less of the seed than I thought it was going to. These do need I need to spray these as well, but I'm going to get the other crops in the ground first. So it does mean, after our root crop disaster in the last episode, it was that thing as well. I don't know why, I don't know why, there's no reason why it would have occurred to me immediately. Because I kept getting the message, and I tried a seed, or I tried a plant, or, you know. And it was only then afterwards I suddenly thought, hang on a mo, what about? So, we should be good then. Turn that on, drop it down. No messages coming up, and we are putting carrots in the ground. Sorted. First strip carrots, second strip, I don't know, parsnip, third red beet. I haven't really decided which one's which. Oh, that was the thing I also did off camera. You know that second pallet of oak trees. It does also mean now that I can put my, what I was going to do? What did I test in here? Oh, did I do carrots there as a test? Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm going to bring my direct drills over. It should mean we should be able to do our, we did peas, oh, green beans I was going to do. Green beans in this field. What's the plan? Actually, what I think I'll do, I'll go across this way a little bit. Get an angle on it that way. We're not ridging, because that was the thing people said, why don't you just ridge? If you ridge, that's going to raise everything up anyway, and you should be fine. Yeah, I could have done that. Again, I kind of immediately turned away from ridging. I don't know why I did, but I decided I wasn't going to ridge, and that probably would have solved the problem as well. So I really appreciate everyone that reached out with suggestions and potential solutions of how we could fix it. And as it turned out, this was the route I took, rightly or wrongly. So, carrots in. Well, these aren't going to be, I mean, they're quite long fields, but they are narrow. Again, I could have filled these in like I did on the other side, but I didn't. I'm not quite sure why I didn't. I suppose I can keep them then separate. But, yeah, it's not going to be a massive amount. But as we always find with root crops, it's not about, because the yields are very high, so you can get quite a lot off a very small plot. We've already got potatoes in the ground further up, so we'll have potatoes, carrots, parsnips, red beet. We could put some sugar beet in if we wanted to. I guess we could do on the further one. That'll require my regular planter, but that's fine. We can do that. We've got plenty of seeds in the front of this, and I bought those extra bags as well. So what I'm going to be doing is, when I said a minute ago about the cable yarder, I'm going to sell it back. I know I'll take a hit on it. I probably should have rented it first rather than buying it. I was excited, it looks cool, and I know it's one of those machines that's just going to take some practice and fiddling around with and getting it right. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. I managed to get around the edge here when I did my poplars. I did that poplar thing, and then obviously it wouldn't allow me plant anymore because of the water logging. So what it allowed me to do, because I extended this field a little bit here, I've got poplars running right around there. Then the far section has got poplars, 2 or 3 strips of poplars in the end section. So when all the poplars grow, we're going to have a bit of a boundary around this bit, but that's okay, because we can come into this bit here, just over there, over the peak bit, so we can. That's kind of my entry to the field, I guess. So what I'll do is put these right up against it. Might leave a little bit of a gap. Right up against the poplars. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but that's all right. So I think that's because I tried carrots before. It allowed me to do it right on the edge, and then I rolled over the lot, so that's why that texture looks a little bit different, but it is all definitely carrots. I'm pleased we're getting this in the ground. It's what we needed to do, and the fact this worked. And then what I'll do, I'll go back, I'll grab my double penta. We'll bring the double penta out, we'll get the green beans in the ground, then we'll get the sprayer out, and we'll get our nitrogen down. What about green beans? Stuff green beans are going to be like the peas were. I can't remember. Because obviously I've done these crops on various... We've got rain coming at some point as well. But rain's not going to affect me seeding, which is fine. Yeah, I haven't done any of these crops with precision farming yet. So I can't remember what the rules were. The peas definitely didn't want any more. So this should be saying nitrogen bad. pH should be fine. Why is that showing as pH? So pH is perfect here. Why? Because I've planted. Is that now saying the pH is... Oh, this was the weird strip, wasn't it, on the map? Let's go back to here. Let's go across to our... Yes, I didn't point out before. Precision farming. pH. Yeah, look. Why? When I did my liming, did it lime fine? This strip, it just didn't. I don't know why it didn't. And I put lime down on it. There is lime on it. For some reason, it's not a different... Oh, is it a different soil type? No, it's not a different soil type, is it? This was all the same, wasn't it? We go back to there. The soil type is all... Yeah, I don't... Anyway, yeah, it's doing it. I don't know why it's doing it. So our yield's not going to be great on that strip there. Or at least the lime's not as good as it should be. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me at all. So I was having a conversation with MrSealyp the other day. And this was regarding FarmCon. There was a couple of conversations we had last year at FarmCon, interestingly, with a few different subscribers. And then when we got back and everyone was posting their videos, because last year's FarmCon was leading up to the new version of the game coming out. So there was tons and tons of stuff. Previous FarmCons I did Deutschfahrer and I did Class. I didn't do the one at Mannheim, which was John Deere. Didn't do John Deere. And it's Lindner this year. And someone, you know, we'd had a few comments, I think, when people were posting their videos, that the usual shill thing, you know, about it must be great when giants are paying for your trips. And we've had this conversation before. FarmCon, they don't. Not at all. You know, most of the trips they don't. The Wisconsin was a different thing, because they were advertising, they were pushing for the new game to come out. That was a whole different animal. But FarmCon, all the creators that go, we pay for our own flights, we pay for our own accommodation, we pay for, you know. But obviously then being away, you're not making content, so you'll lose. There's no difference to go on a holiday, you know, I've said that before. But the thing we were talking about was, it's that thing of, I know people won't believe it, because it's that thing of, oh, YouTubers only ever do anything to make money. That's not true. It's not why I started my channel. It wasn't about making money. Yes, you do get to a point when you are doing it full time where, you know, it is your income, so you have to think carefully about, you know, what you're making, how you're making it, what things are doing well, what things aren't. You know, it becomes that whole thing. You really dive a lot deeper into it. But genuinely, the reason that I've gone back this will be my third year on the bounce, is genuinely because Giants one year at John Deere televised it, didn't they? They had live streams and stuff of the event, and there was all sorts of cool stuff, and it was brilliant. And generally speaking, after the event, they will put up video footage of the presentations, but usually it's in German. Sometimes they have translations and stuff. Like switch that over, turn it off. Yeah, so they do the presentations and that kind of stuff, and but they don't televise it anymore. So when they did the John Deere one, everyone said, this is brilliant. If Giants are going to do this moving forward, that's really cool, because for all the people that can't attend FarmCon, you know, and that's most people can't, you know, if you're in and around Germany, Austria, you know, France, anywhere like that, and you don't mind travelling, a lot of guys come down from Holland, sorry, the Netherlands, and that's fine. But if you don't live anywhere near, I mean, some of the guys, like say, Argsy came from New Zealand, Farmer Cop and DJ Goham normally come from the States, and it's not cheap. It really isn't. It's not cheap for us coming from the UK. It's you know, it's an expensive proposition. But the reason I go, and I can't speak for other content creators, I know other content creators are going for content, and we will make content while we're there. I've always gone because I don't think it's right the giants don't share it. It becomes a very exclusive thing that, you know, it's always that, come to FarmCon. Well, okay, but if it's nowhere near where you live, then it's not really a viable proposition. So for all those people that can't go, you don't get to experience it. So what I've always tried to do, and I know the other content creators do too, but again, I can't speak for them. When we make our vlogs and we do our blogs and we do our, you know, this is FarmCon, an overview of the trip or whatever it might be, the same as we do for Llama and that kind of thing. It's so you guys can get to experience some of, you know, some measure of what it's like and what happens and what's going on at FarmCon. So you get to see a bit of FarmCon, you get to see some of the equipment machinery, some of the manufacturer, whichever manufacturer it is that year that's been chosen, you know. It's a difficult one. So this year, you know, obviously I'm hopefully still going to do those I only normally do one video. But I'm thinking maybe do a video of the trip as well this time, maybe a bit more of a kind of, I don't know, an adventure sort of type thing. But we have got an extension to the trip this year with Farmer Cop, which is going to be an interesting one. But this is all just me just leading up to saying the charity thing the other day didn't happen because of my back. You know, I said I was going to be away and I had some charity, I was doing some stuff with the Country Trust charity. I was supposed to be visiting 2 farms. I postponed it last time when was it supposed to be the first time, because my back had gone. Then my back got a little bit better, and then went properly. I did the Tom Pemberton trip, and I shouldn't have done because that made it worse. Anyway, I was supposed to go last week on Wednesday. I could barely stand. So on the Tuesday I had to message him and say that I am so sorry, but I'm going to have to postpone again. I just can't. I can't walk around all day. I can barely stand up, and driving's going to be a nightmare. So unfortunately that was the case. So yeah, obviously FarmCon's coming up, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to be. I don't have the hours in the day. I was talking to Farmer Cop the other day, and he's got a schedule, and he's backing up a ludicrous amount of videos so he can keep videos posting while he's away. I don't know how they find the hours in the day. I can't. I don't know where I'm going to do it. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and I know I am genuinely concerned that this trip to FarmCon, and for the reasons I've just said why I'm going and why I go, yes, I get to meet all the content creators again, yes, it's great, it's a trip. It's kind of, I guess, my summer holiday. It is a work trip technically, but you know what I mean. I'm worried it's going to be the absolute death knell for the channel, because with the YouTube algorithm the way it's at the moment, if you don't post for a couple of days, just everything dies. It just absolutely kills off your channel. I just don't understand. YouTube at the moment is an absolute nightmare. Anyway, I've talked enough about that. Just to give people a heads up, that's a potential. So carrots, parsnip, I'm going to put red beet in the next one over. I might do some sugar beet. Then what I'll cut to me, we'll go over, we'll get the pentas down, and we'll get the green beans in the far field. Because I said I was going to put some trees in, didn't I? Oh, did I finish off what I was saying about the oak trees? The second pallet of oak trees, did I get sidetracked? I put a second pallet in around the lake. So the lake is now surrounded with oak trees. Now they're going to be a good 2 years to reach full maturity, but hopefully we'll get to a point where there'll be enough showing out the ground, we'll be able to see them. I'm back. We have our 2 pentas. I've brought down the sprayer. We're going to lose light soon. What time is it? 10 to 7. Yeah, at some point. So what I ended up doing was carrots, parsnips, red beet, and the vegetable planter allows you to do spinach as well. So I've done spinach in the 4th one. I think what I'm going to do is the last 3. I don't know if I'm going to do sugar beet. I might do 1, might do sugar beet. Then the end 2, I'm going to grass, and I'm going to put trees in those. So at least there'll be a base, a ground base around them. If I don't put trees down, then trees. If I don't put grass down, then it ends up just being, you know, a mess. So what I was thinking was, I'm going to do a little bit of this. Start this off, then I'm going to do some of the spraying. Otherwise I'm going to end up spraying. I'm going to end up doing one of them in the dark, I think spraying might be a little bit easier to do in the light, and then in the dark I can always use my GPSs. And this is a direct drill, so this should go over the little bit of carrots I did here. Don't know why I did a test there. It's very peculiar. Can't quite make it out. So these weren't switch on, were they? No. What? Why did the other one work? Don't get it. The other one worked fine. So why did that one work, but this one won't? Oh. Well, at least the root crops are in the ground. that was my initial plan. I suppose I'm gonna need a bit more money though, because it's going to cost a bit, isn't it? I can't remember how much it is. Maybe I might try off camera. To turn one of those into a rice field and lift it a little bit, if it will let me, because I can put any crop in it. It doesn't have to be like long grain rice or rice. I can still plant in it, because I did. What I've done in the other one, peas. Now what I'd put in it, sunflower, wasn't it? Yeah, we should be all right. What I'm going to do now, I know I'm going to be driving over these, but let's get this going. Still needs to be sprayed regardless. I'll do my root crops as well. Let's give this some thought then. How can I... That's better. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. Let's do that at the bottom. Excellent. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I've taken the gravel yard over, and that plough I left in the middle of a field, over by the field, didn't I? That's going to go back, that chisel plough. I tried to drive across the sheep goat pasture, and it seems to be anything that has a boundary, whether the boundary is seen or unseen, it just won't go. It got hooked up on the boundary of the sheep pasture as well, so that's got to go. And I'm probably going to end up going with one I've used before. Like I used the other one the other day, didn't I? The Lizard 6M, which is now a 6M, 9M, 12M, isn't it? That is putting stuff down. I'm just looking at the ground. It doesn't look like it's changing colour. The bottom left is showing that it's actually putting some down. So cool. Yeah, I think I don't want to do that all grass. That'd be crazy. I was going to do green beans, and I was going to do corn. So have another nice big cornfield, which then we could use for either silage harvesting or more corn stuff, because that canned corn, if I could leave that canned corn, if I knew I had enough corn, I could leave that little canned corn factory just running. That would be perfect. So I don't know, maybe that is the answer. To all the people that said do a rice field, maybe that is the way to go. If I stay that side, am I getting all of it in? I'm just keeping my bottom left, as well as trying not to drive into the ditch. Yeah, it's working. Cool. Right, I'm going to get this done, and then give it some thought. I might see you tomorrow. I'm just thinking, with regard to what I do about the raising these up. and also then getting that. I want to get that new log trailer, that heavy log trailer, loaded. I'm genuinely interested to see just how much that thing will hold. What is interesting with that as well is when I did the when it came out and we had a look at it, I put some logs and stuff in. It was fine. I've hooked up to the lorry that I've got at the moment, and when I put some logs in it, I've got a couple of logs in, not a huge amount. I mean, I say it is a huge amount, but it doesn't look like a huge amount in there. It's the whole thing was rocking side to side, so I'm wondering if the hitch on the lorry is a little bit higher, so it's got a bit of tilt on it. So what I might do is disconnect it. I don't want that thing tipping over. That's the last thing we need. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. If I missed a bit somewhere, potentially. Right, let's spin around and get this done. There we go. Right, it's time to do some selling. Hide my mistake. Hide my mistake. Look at the size of it. I don't think I can hide that. So, the John Deere 9 shank that's been sitting for days and days and days. Let's get rid of that, shall we? Return. Huh? Oh, I had that leased. Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. I only paid, was it $240 for that? Didn't lose too much. Okay, well, there you go. Shall I repair that while we're here? Yes, let's do that. Nice. I'm not going to repaint it. Doesn't need to be done. I honestly thought I bought that plough. We had that rented all this time. It's been sitting by the edge of a field. Oops. Okay, well, you know, it's returned now. It's out of our hair. We'd have to sort out getting ourselves a different plough at some point. But there we go. That's that bit done. Now we need to sort out raising that field if I can. So, still in Soggy Boggins, the field, one of the big fields, obviously is the cornfield, what I want to be a cornfield over there. So I tried it, and it worked. Although, so rice, long grain rice field put in, and you notice there's a big old rise here. When I started to put it in and map it, it mapped out until that corner. Then when I was coming across there, it disappeared into the ground, so obviously rises up there. So I lifted the height up for that corner, which then raised the whole lot up, which I could have raised it up anyway. So as you can see, we've got quite a bump up here. But that's worked perfectly because that's raised the field up enough away from the water that I'm not getting the warning. That's now green beans going in, and it's working. I don't need to flood this because I'm doing green beans. And that's the beauty of doing rice fields, and further along there, halfway up this run here, is where we've got our pump. But the beauty of that again then being that at any point I can do rice in it, or long grain rice, and I can flood the field, which is great. That's not a problem. It did cost me a lot of money. The money I just made, I was up to 340 odd for selling the grapple yarder. So the question to ask yourself is, let's say, it does give me the option now that I can do rice and long grain rice and flood the field, which is brilliant. Would it have been cheaper for me to go into the landscaping mode, raise up one corner, just raise it, well, sort of the height right now, then use the level tool and go right across the rest of the field using that with the landscaping tool, so the whole field would have been higher up than what I've just done? Probably. But again, I know I've said it 3 times now, but I have got the option to flood this field and do other crops in it now as well. Am I going to do the other one yet? No, I haven't got enough money because to do that one, if it costs what this one did, what we were on 340, so it's cost us 200,000. Mama, 100 to yeah, 200,000 to have a rice field. Okay, well I suppose it was good that I sold the grapple yarder. Maybe, I don't know. What is good though is it is still showing. Our pH that we did is still showing, so although the field has raised, it is saying it's okay. And then obviously, because we're putting a regular crop in this, we should be fine. I should also be able to, because it's now why is it? Oh, it's only registering the left down one. That's fine, that's all I need to worry about. Because I can do 2 at a time, can't I? Let's put that on. What's it doing? Oh, it's taking it to the middle. No! Is it going from... Oh, it's going from the tandem. It's not going from this. Now that's a curious one, isn't it? This is one of those things a lot of people asked. I suppose I can just set it to, what's this? These are 5 each, aren't they? I could just reset it to 10 meters, couldn't I? We come into here. That should work, shouldn't it? Or should I do like 8.9 or so? 9.9. Let's go. Sorry, you might be able to hear a motorbike out the front of my next door neighbour. For some reason, because it's hot again, so windows are open. I'm indoors again. Thank you. Oh, we have to find out the person who it was. Was it Chris? That reached out to me yesterday. A lot of people did last year about aircon units, and a lot of the aircon units people were sending me links for, the wattage was too high and would trip the breaker in the man cave. So I'm sure it was Chris reached out to me with a suggestion. Yeah, it was Chris. And it looks like potentially the one he's suggesting is a low enough wattage requirement that it might not trip the breakers. Again, it's that thing of might not, and it's a risk because you buy it and think, okay, this is going to be perfect, and then the first time you turn it on, boom, breakers trip, and then you're in trouble. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I can give it a go, can't I? These are going to separate, aren't they? That's how I keep them. Stay together. Stay together. Come on. All together. There we go. Boom. Brilliant. So we are finally getting the green beans in this field. So it's a combination of various different people's comments. Like I say, I had already done the big brain moment of rolling or cultivating, but I did rolling, and that worked fine over there, but then didn't work here. So again, thank you to the people that commented, because the people that put in there about, well, what about trying rice fields? I had a couple of direct messages saying the same thing. And my brain immediately thought, well, yeah, but if I put a rice field in, there's already a water source there. But I'm forgetting again that I could raise the whole thing up away from the water. This can still be flooded. So yeah, that'll work. I'm not going quite to the edge, but that's fine. I'll use this to do it. I'll get this sprayed off, and then we'll be into, I guess I'll see you in July. I don't think we'll have any crops ready to harvest in July. Guess what we could do is come to there, and we go up to there. Crop types, growth. Not quite sure how that will be ready to go. Don't think we've got anything else, have we? No, nothing will be ready in July. Okay. And then we're going to load up that log behemoth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's July. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning, and all of our efforts yesterday worked out perfectly. I did manage to get the sugar beet in because I was trying to do sugar beet over there, and of course the planters, every time I tried to lower them, I was trying to plant into water, which is no good. You can see our saplings now a little bit easier. Our grass is growing on our grass section with our little oasis in the middle. I might put some more trees around dotted on this field, I'm not too sure. But we can use this for grass, which is great. Our green beans, our elevated field, are already growing because I'm on 1 day months on this one, so it hasn't taken too long. We hop there. Boom, there you go. There's our green beans, looking good. I'm glad we did this. Yes, it costs a bit of money, but we're all good. I made a mistake yesterday. I goofed again, and our corn can production that's doing our rice boxes, I turned them all back on again because I thought that's going to be quite a good revenue to have, and we can set it onto selling. I turned it on, forgot to put it on selling, and then forgot about it. So overnight, it's produced tons. So I've switched it all back off again. Anyway, carrots growing, lovely job. Parsnips growing, red beets growing. The rest I grassed because, like I say, I wanted a. No, did I do this? No, this was the spinach. Spinach here, and then grass. So the rest of it I grassed because I'm going to put trees in this one. This is going to be more of a plantation bit, whereas that's going to be grass for kind of just for cutting. Whether I turn it into hay, whether I cut it for size. That's why I want to do a big cornfield over there. Once we've got enough money back in the bank, I'm going to do another raised like this one, and we'll do cornfield over there, and then our saplings, our poplars that we put in the ground using that other planter, they're already growing now. So whereas the other ones, if you use the Damcon, it puts them into the ground as saplings, the planter puts them in the ground and then they grow to saplings. So this is our strip around the outside, and the other side is all growing marvellously. So I'm going to head over. I've got a few more trees to lop, and then we're going to load up that trailer and see how I am genuinely curious and excited to see how much money we're going to get from one full load on our full forest trailer. Okay, so when I said about the log trailer being big enough to take an entire forest, obviously this forest is just a massive forest, you know. I'm in the process of getting rid of some stumps. I have the excavators just down there because the area I've cleared is behind me. Oh yes, all the way out to the previous boundary was where our field edge went. That's all done. We've got some big piles of logs, so all the small piles I've been gathering together into bigger piles to make it easier. Now for the squeamish among you, because I'm using that front bracket crane frame that has the tension straps, I'm going to load with that. So I know, yeah, not everyone's a big fan of those. That's the way it is. I've got a lot to load, and using the grapple thing, it's just like I say, it wasn't doing it for me. Maybe it will for you. I don't know. So, I still haven't bought one of these. I'm still leasing this. I probably should. It's 27 grand. I think I said that last time, and I still haven't. I've got the little piles of logs all over the place, the end bits from various ones. So this bit I've cleared down to here, just to give me a clear path through from where I'm logging down round the side and over towards the farm area, because the trees were right at the edge, and I was trying to wind my way through the trees. It just made more sense to do it this way. So that's what we're doing. Get these last few stumps out. I'll start loading that trailer. We'll go and have a look at it because, you know, I say if you don't watch the mod reviews, you won't have seen it. Well, I suppose you saw it earlier, didn't you? But I mean, like, seen it up close and personal. I'm gonna, well, I don't know which direction I'm going to go in next, but the logging is now, like I said, right at the very, very start of all this. I was here to do the logging, clear areas, do stuff for the ministry, and then the logging then will be financing the farming. The farming will be supporting whatever the ministry ends up doing here in their particular industry, whether it ends up being mining or logging or whatever it is they do. We will have the infrastructure in place to support it. So from the side, you look at me, okay, they're a little bit higher. I must say a little bit higher. They're a lot higher. But this is where it... Ah, dearie me. Now that's a fair amount of logs in there already. on the log trailer I had before, that probably would have been 2/3 the way up. One bit already. I think I can get 2 lots of 8s on here. I went forward a little bit because I've got a bit of room between there and the cat. I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit close there. And the back ones I can overhang a little bit, and most of the log will be on the trailer, so we should be right there. But what I was finding was when I was loading, because I don't know if you can see, the 5th wheel is right up inside there. I've detached it at the moment. When I attach it, it raises up a little bit, and I think that takes the first set of wheels, possibly partially the second, off the floor, which means it rocks a little bit. We'll see when I load this next up. It's going to take me a while. Like I say, I've got this pile here, I've got a big pile over there, another one there, another one there, another one there. I think that's it. I think we'll get most of this on here. Will we? I don't know. Oh, that didn't do what I thought it was going to. That's better. That's more like it's right. Always have that one errant log that's just clinging on. So I'm going to try and load. Well, I'll do what I usually do with any size trailer. I'm trying to balance the load. So I want it level. Technically, I want it level at the top, but you see what I mean about this being so much higher. It is absolutely. And this, I'm not going to lie. Once I get over the top there, I have to bring this back in again because it does reach a point where we're bordering on toppling. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load the logs on like that, and they'll kind of find their place, settle down a little bit. Once I get above the cab, I probably could come a little bit further forward. I think I already am. I am edging forward. I need to come back a little bit and try and keep that load level. So what I think most of the trees are all one way, because the way I cut the trees down and drag them all into a pile, I'm kind of thick to thin, I'm pretty sure left to right in this pile. So what I'll do is I'll do some one way, and then what I'll do is I'll show you what I mean. Need to be more in the middle. And this, for me, honestly, this is the quickest, easiest, most efficient way. Yeah, some of the grabs and grapples. Oh, I might have too much weight on there. Yep. Doesn't always do that, which is interesting. There you go, got a few less. Grabs and grapples and various different logging and forestry things, they're all well and good. And yeah, like I say, if you want to do your forestry a little bit easier, that's fine. And the grapples, that grapple yard, I could have spent a lot more time with it. I mean, I'll be honest, I need to go onto the excavator and show you. I think I'm on the amount of time on my excavator, bear in mind all I've been using it for is cutting trees, is I've got quite a lot of hours on it. So I guess the more hours you put on the machine, let's pull that in a little bit like that. If I can get that close enough, I can lean it against that. There we go. I need to get up above first, go up, and then if it tips, that's fine. Because I can just drop it into the hole there. Boom, like that. So one lot one way, one lot another. See, that's now, because I've done it that way around, it's not balanced. I've got to go back the other way. Yeah, I've got a lot of hours on it. So yeah, with the grapple yarder and stuff, if I'd have spent more time on it, with it, it's a lot of these things. It's getting used to the nuances and also teaching your brain. It's the muscle memory of the controls. So you get to a point you're doing the controls without thinking about it. Some of those, like that grapple yard, there's a lot of different controls, there's a lot of different things, especially when you've got ones where you need to switch between different elements. So you've got your crane element, you've got your grab element, you've got, you know, whatever it might be. It might be you've got what's the word I'm looking for? Feet or legs, or you know, whatever it is that needs to be supports is the word. Then things. Yeah, I don't know. It's that top one's not. I thought that was attached. Let's see if we can get that off manually here. So I can go on one of my little piles. Like I said, I've got them scattered around. I don't think I've got one over here. What I need to do whenever I do these, again, it's a mini tip. Let's just say, if you've got long grass like this and you've got little bits and you're piling them up, I'm going to come along with a trailer and throw all the little bits on, and they'll go to my mini sawmill. Put them in an area of ground like this where you can see them. So if I went, you know, if I went airborne like that, I can find that. I can see those on that. If I dropped into the grass, I can't find it. Once I've got a little bit of a pile, the pile sticks up higher than the grass. That's fine, but for the time being, I think I've got a little pile. Yeah, I've got a little pile there. I think I moved some of the piles before. I thought I had a little pile over here somewhere. There we go. Little pile there. I think I've started a new little pile. Oh, one log. One log there. So yeah, it's all just the offcuts and end bits, you know. Some of the trees cut down into 8 metre lengths, no problem at all. I have to say, I would prefer, and I know, you know, just me, I know it says it's got ratchet straps, and I'm using ratchet straps. I would prefer it if there was a ratchet strap, a visual ratchet strap. Because for me, that would feel more, you know, it would be more okay. Because at the moment, it's that kind of thing, well, you're just using magic. I mean, it does say, or tension belts, should I say. It says tension belts, not ratchet straps, but you know what I mean. That's what it is utilising, but there's no visual for it. And that's where it then becomes that thing of, well, it's not really believable. But the strange thing is, if there was an animation or a visual for those straps, that wouldn't be so bad. Because there's nothing stopping you getting a frame and strapping around a load of logs and picking them up. You know, I've said that many times before, farmers are ingenious and farmers will find solutions to problems. Why spend a fortune on a log grapple when you can make yourself a big metal frame and put some ratchet straps on it? You know, that kind of thing. Yes, the amount of logs I'm carrying, I suppose, probably aren't, you know, that's not realistic. But again, I've always been more for sort of saying to people, look, this is how you could do it. This is how you can do it. If you struggle with logging, don't enjoy logging, this might be a way that will help you enjoy it more, I guess. Find an easier way of doing it. You can still do logging, you can still do stuff. But if you want to spend the time really getting to grips with a piece of equipment or machinery, then you can do that as well. Absolutely you can. Absolutely I can. You know, I think I had a couple of people message about the grapple yarder. A lot of people didn't like the grapple yarder episode. I don't know why. It didn't get particularly good views, and the like to dislike ratio wasn't fantastic either. So it didn't do particularly well. I thought it would, and I think one of the comments I'd received was I'm supposed to be showing people how to use it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I did the mod review on it when it came out. That was it, and I found a fiddle around with it. It was pretty cool. And I'd literally just bought it. Now I could have spent 2, 3, 4 hours using it, making sure I was absolutely spot on with the controls, so that when I show you on a video, it's like, look at me, aren't I amazing? And I've always said this on my videos. I'm a warts and all person. I'm a person that will show you something and say, look, this either it's not easy to use, or it takes a bit of practice, or, you know, whatever it might be, just so people, you know, so people can say, oh, you know what, he's having the same problems I'm having, or look, he's just like us, he's a normal person and he makes mistakes. That's the fact of it. I don't edit out mistakes. I don't, you know, sometimes I do, depends what they are, depends how bad they are, depends what language I've used when I've made the mistake as well. But, you know, I don't think that's right. Anyway, I have got to get this loaded, and I have to say and it's not rocking now, which I think it was because it was attached to the lorry. Once I've got it back on the lorry again, I don't know if the lorry's going to pull it. I assume it will pull it. We've got the cheat version of the lorry, which has got 600 horsepower. I only got a few that time, that's fine. 600 should be enough. We might have to move into TLX territory, maybe think about that, if depending on how much we get for this load. The problem is, I don't mind logging, but to get this amount of trees to cut this amount, it's taken quite a while to cut this amount, and I've been tried to be doing other jobs as well. So I've been trying to get those fields sorted out down at the bog. I've been trying to get more fields made and ploughed, so we are doing as much farming as we are, and I'm trying to cater for everyone. I know I said I wasn't going to do pallets and stuff and productions, and I have done some, and some people don't like it, some people do. I'm trying to kind of balance everything out a little bit. I wasn't intending on it, but you know what, I decided some of the stuff, it needed productions to fulfill the narrative such that it is that I'm doing. It needed some productions. So yeah, not everyone's going to like what I'm doing, but yeah, it's taken me a long time to cut this many trees down, get this many piles. I'm hoping the payout's worth. Now the problem is we're in summer, Logs are always worth more in the winter. And that's probably why as well, because I'm doing 1 day months. When I got paid before, I'm thinking I got paid a lot more for this, but that was probably a few months ago, wasn't it? I'm trying to think when I did my last log load. I cannot get over the amount of that. It's just absolutely crazy. Oh, and for someone who likes logging and has done logging a lot in the past, that's a cool thing to see. That I really do like that. Anyway, I've got to stop talking. I've got to get this done. I've now got to find where I put the other one. It was over here somewhere, wasn't it? I'm going to wander around and not find it now. There we go. I wandered around and finally found somebody who... Sorry, that's mine and MrSealyp song. I love that. Harry Connick Jr. It Had to Be You. It's such a brilliant song. Anyway. Okay, so here we stand with the most insane log load I have ever done. I have ever loaded, ever, in all versions of Farming Simulator. I've never had a log trailer this big with so many logs. Now, this comes with problems. Unfortunately, much as I was so excited to use this, and we'll see if we get paid for it, loading it has been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare, not because of what I'm using to load it with, because for some reason, it could be the trailer to ground, it could be the trailer to lorry. Once I got past a certain amount, the logs all started shifting, even strapped down. The other problem being the straps, bearing in mind this comes out and our supports are this wide, the straps don't come out that wide. The straps come from a little bit further in, so it misses the outside logs. It doesn't do all the outside logs. So I've got logs that it hasn't strapped. And when it doesn't strap the logs then start moving. And even some of the logs that are strapped are moving. If we look at the front load, and this was the one that was done first, and it's been on there the longest, that one's migrated that direction. These two have migrated that way. I've had some on the top that have twisted. So many logs in one place, they just don't like it. And that's the physics of the game. Unfortunately, it does that. The other thing as well is so many logs in one place. I got 4 of the 5 large piles, and this is the smallest of the 5 piles on that trailer, which blows my mind. But it's laggy as, and the closer you get, I don't know if you can see that on the video, because there's just so much stuff there. I mean, I can't even fathom. Now, the problem I've got now is, as well, once I get in the vehicle and start to drive it, as far as me doing this myself, that's fine. On camera, it's laggy and it looks awful for recording. The lorry seems to be coping right with the load. This is not a load you're going to turn sharp corners fast on, or any corners fast on, shall I just say. Actually, it's not too bad at the moment. I have got logs still shifting. So what I've got to try and do now is get this over to the lumberyard without any of these deciding they're going to torpedo out the front or back of the trailer. So, like I say, it's that thing of a little bit like the grapple yarder. I'm so excited. I was so excited. I mean, I have completely overloaded. I've gone way above the supports. If I just went to the level of the supports, that probably would be better. It would probably reduce the lag on this. Oh, okay. We're having a bit of trouble turning. That's interesting. When I'm reversing, I'm fine, but going forwards, there's just so much weight on that fifth wheel. We may have to look into TLX. Yeah, I can't turn. It could be the logs as well. The logs hitting the cab. Whoa, no. Okay. Oh, no. I need something different. Yep, it's not going to turn. That's weird, because I turned down a little bit further down the hill. Absolutely no problem at all. So I guess what I've got to do is do my turning in reverse. And then drive straight forwards. If I can drive straight forwards. There we go. And just do little turns. There we do. We can do little turns. Once we get up to the flat and fine. I'll see you at this lumber mill in a minute. I'm just curious to see what this load is going to pay out. Like I say, at the moment it is lagging like nobody's business. So whilst a fantastic idea in theory, in practice, I don't know. I still love it. I still think it's a very cool thing. Have I found loading it incredibly frustrating? Yes, because for a while I was trying to keep the logs, I kept trying to push the logs on and keep them nice, straight and level. The back load seems far neater and tidier and stayed on way better than the front load, and I don't know why. Oh, you're returning right now. You watch me go across the crossing and get hit by a train. That would just about finish me off now, I think. What are your guesses, people? What are your guesses? What do you think we're going to get for this load? The normal load on the trailer I had before, I got 63 grand, because we're in the summer. I reckon we've got potentially 4 loads worth of what we would have had on that other trailer. So I reckon we could be as high as 200,000. I hope we are. Shall we see? $187,142 with what's left on there. Right, let's do straps. That's still a full load. That was 187 and another 40. We're not far off what I thought it was going to be. We come outside. We're outside the lines here. Why have they not sold? I reckon we're there, you know. About 240 grand. So that one trailer took 4 of the previous trailer's loads, roughly. Was it worth doing? Absolutely. Has it taken me ages? Absolutely. Is the lag annoying? Absolutely. But I don't mind. I suppose when I do the editing I can actually check the finances and I can work out exactly what that is. It's got to be around 187, yeah, 40, 220, I said 240, then we went a little bit more. I reckon we're about that, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, if that gets an update, if the straps come out and go, what it needs is a bar that runs along here, between these supports, and the straps come out around that bar and up and over. That would work better. Because once it starts missing logs, those logs will move because, I mean, they'll move because there's a lot of logs on there anyway. Can you imagine sticking another trailer behind that? The lag would be horrific if I had 2 of these trailers fully laden. But then you could bring 2 trailer loads and make nearly 500,000. That was cool. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.